It was time to pack for our trip to New York City. It was Bailey and Michaela's first time ever visiting, and the excitement was high and the pressure was on. I always told Bailey that if there was ever a place she ever wanted to go, to just say the word and we would go together. And before we knew it, we were doing just that. The three of us had a long day ahead. A 2-hour drive to Nashville to catch our flight, and a long day of exploration and jet lag awaited us soon after.
That we are about to be on the plane. Yeah, it's like 4:30. It's not even 4:30 yet. Oh. I'm so tired. I'm trying not to do anything.
This would be Bailey's first flight ever, and I was feeling like a proud mother hen watching her chick leave the coop. I honestly think I was more excited about it than she was. Although through her calm, cool, and collected disposition, I could tell she was excited nonetheless. A few hours later, we had arrived. Our tiredness instantly washed away, and the three of us were ready to take on the streets of New York City and absorb all of its authentic wonder. Despite the dreariness that day, New York couldn't have been more beautiful to me in that moment. It's the type of city that doesn't try to be something it's not. Whether or not you accept her for what she is doesn't matter. She'll eat you up and spit you out if you don't adapt, and I love that about New York so much. It's a city for those that survive, or very quickly want to learn how. And adapt Bailey and Michaela did, right away in fact. So what better way to celebrate this feat by eating large quantities of meat at Kat's Delicatessen? To further blend in with New Yorkers, Michaela quickly Googled the proper way to order at the counter. Our social anxiety hearts were internally panicking, and I felt like I was in an episode of Seinfeld, worried about pissing off the soup Nazi. Lo and behold, ordering was a success, and like an Arby's commercial, we had the meats. The food was delicious, but my body was already getting the meat sweats, and I wanted to take a nap or lazily enjoy a nice food coma on a sofa somewhere.
This is so much. Are you full? Look at all the meat. That's the timer for my gag.
Once we recovered, our next step was to go to L Train Vintage. I was not adequately prepared for the chilly weather and desperately needed a jacket. I ended up finding the perfect one, and it turns out Bailey found the perfect jacket for her too. In an obnoxious tourist fashion, we obviously had to take many opportunities for photos, because if you don't post it on social media, did it even happen? Yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah. Take a picture still. Oh, they love each other.
Later that evening, we headed to the Color Factory, a place full of snacks and sensory magic. And most importantly, for a bunch of narcissists like us, a photo shoot in every single room. We are cold. Oh, we are very cold. We're waiting on the bus to go to Brooklyn for breakfast. The next day was pretty uneventful. Coney Island was a bust because of the rain, so we spent most of our time taking the subway back and forth aimlessly. Running in the rain without an umbrella was also an activity that made a frequent appearance. Nonetheless, I had an amazing time, even though I was literally the only one. On the plus side, we got fancy lattes in Brooklyn an hour before the coffee shop closed, and then took the subway all the way back to Manhattan. Silver linings, maybe? No? We did, however, take more photos of ourselves. So there's that, I guess. Hello! Our last full day in New York was our most eventful day. I was once again seeing my good buddy Benster. We also were going to see more of Manhattan, specifically Central Park in Harlem. Ben is seriously the best person I know, and I was so glad I got to see him again, even if just briefly.
I saw the car stop and I was like, I might be.
Yeah, finally.
Jokes about narcissism aside, the three of us were finally starting to feel like we belonged in our own skin. This trip to New York was a coming-of-age story about three women wanting to feel confidence and love for themselves for the first time.
said they were made. They were. One of them was like raised at a 45-degree angle. They were getting it. They're like, hey children, look at that sun rose.
To end our last night in New York, Bailey and I went to Coney Island. Michaela was indisposed, so she stayed back at the hotel. It was one of my favorite parts of the trip, especially since I finally got to ride the Spookorama, one of the few legitimate dark rides that still have a very nostalgic 80s feel.
Yeah, I would not be. I was joking, Rocket. This side looks depressing AF. And this one looks fun AF. I didn't even care. This way out.
Yeah. Okay. It was great.
Any good?
Yeah.
And just like that, the trip came to an end, far too quickly for any of our liking, but we were glad that it happened.